Hello, and welcome to the Revenue Agency Podcast. My name is Brittney Hall, and today you get just me. You get 10 to 15 minutes of just me, my thoughts on this subject. I have a lot of passion around it because I'm an action taker, and I don't believe in really just getting ready to get ready before you do anything. But the reality is that a lot of people out there in the world, that is the way that they operate. So I want to challenge you a little bit today. The title of this episode is The Real Reason You Haven't Started Yet. And, getting started for some people is the absolute hardest part. I have to say, I'm a really good starter. Finishing and executing isn't really my forte. So I have learned how to build a team around that, around my strengths and gifts, and just being able to work really as the best me possible, which is I'm a great starter. I'm a great action taker. And this is why I think that I can bring a lot of value to this subject, because there's a lot of people, maybe it's you, that are very concerned with, like, am I ready? Is this a good move? Is this safe? And I know a lot of women out there, specifically talking to you, it's like, am I ready for this? Can I handle it? Am I good enough? What's going to happen? And I think as human beings, that's a really scary part of making a move, is that it's like, will this work out? We almost want this like safety net and this like security and this guarantee. That's what I was trying to think of, this guarantee that it's all going to work out. But really in life, we don't have any guarantees. And so, especially when something is unfamiliar to us, it's uncharted territory, it's really scary. Especially if you're an entrepreneur, maybe you're the first entrepreneur in your family. It's a really scary thing to go out and bet on yourself. And so, like I said, I know this from personal experience. When I was younger in business and doing kind of like side hustle things here and there, I always had the safety net of my husband. He was the breadwinner. He was super steady, made a great income. And then when we worked him out of that job because we desired more freedom of time in our life and being present with our kids, that security kind of went away. And I remember obstacles would come up, like financial obstacles. And we were like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And so, but we learned how to navigate that. We learned how to navigate that territory. And then, we did a couple different jobs. And I believe that God was just putting us in positions to really hone our craft, meet people that we needed to meet. And then this last fall, we launched the Revenue Agency. And that was kind of a long time coming. And we went through some really challenging stuff, maybe more challenging for me than for Ryan, because in the work that we were doing, I was working closer with people and Ryan was more kind of like a behind the scenes guy. So I got very invested in people. And then when things happened that I feel like it was God's way of like pushing me in the direction that I needed to go, it became very uncomfortable. And there was a lot of obstacles that I had to deal with, but it all turned out for the best, because if I wouldn't have gone through that stuff, I probably would have never stepped forward into starting the Revenue Agency. So, I have to say that it's always easier to look back on something and say, it worked out. You just have to have faith. But when you're before the decision, like you're in the pre-decision phase, it's really scary. And I think the fear of money holds a lot of people back from maybe going out on their own and starting their own business. But I love, my husband told me this the other day. We were talking about somebody who just wouldn't take action towards something that they wanted. They had the desire, they had the skills, they had the dream, they had all those things. But just that fear of financially being able to make it on their own was holding them back. And he said, to get to second, you got to take your foot off of first. And that's really the truth. And I think about, if you're a person of faith or, you believe in the Bible, even just as a story about God parting the Red Seas, right? For the Egyptian, with the Israelites, Moses, was he an Israelite, right? Gosh, I'm totally butchering that. But the parting of the Red Sea, we're all familiar with that, right? God didn't part the Red Sea and say, hey, I'm going to leave it open for a week, just so you know, it's a guarantee you're going to be able to cross. No, he waited until they trusted and had so much faith that they put their toes in the water. And then he parted the Red Seas. And that's how life works. It's like, you got to go all in. And if you're a spiritual person, it's like, you're telling the universe, I am going all in on this. this is my intention. This is my desire. I am not letting fear hold me back. And I am going to trust in the process. And you step out in faith. And then that is truly what's going to move you forward. But if you're like, I'll do it a little bit, but I'm going to still hold on to this thing, that is just being 100% lukewarm. And how do we all feel about lukewarm, right? Like, bleh, we don't want that. So it was really, so I had some fear that was holding me back. There was also in that season, the wellness company that I built. I had a really big community with that. And I was really nervous about stepping out and doing something different and announcing that to the world that like I was doing this new thing. And that was really scary because I was afraid that people were going to be mad at me and thinking that I maybe left them, that I was leaving them behind, that I was now maybe not for that thing that they were doing. I was afraid that people wouldn't want to be my friend anymore. I was afraid I would lose relationships. I was afraid that people would talk about me. I was afraid that people would say, what's she doing? Who does she think she is? And this is all stuff that's happened to me before. And now that I'm on the other side of it, I can tell you that stuff did happen. I have a lot of people that don't talk to me anymore. I lost a very good mentor and friend who didn't understand why I was doing what I was doing or why I was going about it the way I was. I just got completely removed from a community of people like through Facebook groups and all of that because they were so scared that I was going to try to take people with me. It's just really crazy. And if you look back on all these things, it's all fear-based. People are so scared of losing something that they never really owned to begin with. And so that was my experience. And I'll tell you, when you take your step towards that new beginning, towards that new thing, towards that dream, you're going to have obstacles. And I almost find that that's the way that God or the universe kind of like tests us in a way, like, are you sure? And you got to really push through those obstacles because it's not going to be easy. Nothing worth it is ever really just like easy. And so I would say that I've walked through this kind of stuff multiple times. Now I'm on the other side of it. And I just want to encourage you that, the things really worth doing and following our dreams and building the thing that we want to build. There's no promises that it's going to be easy, but really, the only way that you're ever going to fail is if you just give up and you quit. Everybody will tell you that who has success. It's like they were so close to quitting, but then they gave it another shot. And that's truly when like they broke through that success. And that's why people go, oh, they're an overnight success. Nope, they're not. So if you feel stuck on the decision of, should I do it? Should I go for it? Should I get started? Maybe it's just a freaking podcast, like maybe it's not even like this massive life-changing, career-altering thing that you want to do, like quitting a job and starting a company like I did. Maybe you're just like, I just want to start a podcast. Or I would just want to write a book, or I want to start a blog, or I want to start like doing live videos and really just like bringing my knowledge to the world. Maybe that's what you want to do. And here's what holds people back. They're afraid of people seeing them. They're afraid of people judging them. They're afraid of like, what are people going to think of this new identity and this new way that you're kind of putting yourself out there? Afraid that people are going to have opinions about you. And spoiler alert, they will. I have had family members block me on social media. I have had people in our old town talk about me. I have had people talk about my husband. I have had just like family members say stuff about me. It's like, it's insane how much people will talk about you. But you know what? People talk about people. So you just got to know that it's going to happen and you got to shut it out. The lies that we tell ourselves are really like, well, I'm just not quite ready yet. Yes, you are. There's no such thing as being ready. There's never going to be a right time. Like the time is now. Do you want to look back at the end of your life or even in 2 years from now and go, do you think you're ever going to say, wow, I wish I would have waited longer? No, people always go, man, I should have got started sooner. I wish I wouldn't have been afraid. And the more and more that you wait, just the heavier and heavier and heavier that thing feels. And so if you move into it, it gets lighter, it gets exciting. And clarity doesn't come first. You have to take action and then you figure it out on the back end. I tell my clients this all the time, like with social media and with business offers and products and all these things. It's like, just get started with something. You're going to meet people, you're going to talk to them, and then you're going to figure out as you go what really like people really want and what they need, like where they're going to pivot. And so I want you to really just stop and ask yourself right now, just take a piece of paper, take a moment, really think about this, is what is the real reason that you haven't started yet? What's going to happen if a year goes by and you still haven't started? Are you willing to accept that in your life? Are you willing to accept fear? Are you willing to accept doubt? Is that worth it? Is that comfort zone worth it? Like time is such a precious commodity. It's really all that we have. Nobody gets to the end of their life and says, oh, I wish I would have waited longer. Oh, I wish I wouldn't have spent time with that person. Oh, I wish they say, I wish I would have went for it. I wish I would have spent more time with these people. I wish I would have done this, done that. That's always the regret, is not that they tried something and failed. It's always the regret of not doing it. So here's something that I had to make peace with and how to move forward. This changed a lot for me, is that you do not owe anyone the version of you that they have in their mind. Let's run that back again. You do not owe anyone the version of you that they have in their mind. Okay? Because it makes people really uncomfortable when you grow and you change and you pivot and you create success as someone that maybe they didn't have you painted as. Maybe they're like, no, I just thought that, Brittney was a fitness instructor and a mom, and that's all she should have ever done. Like, how is she calling herself a CEO? Well, that's not my problem to figure that out for them or to explain that to them or to rationalize that for them. I am moving into the person that I am made to become. And you need to move into the version of the person that you were created to be. Start the thing, even if you're scared. The fear, it's actually a clue that you're stepping into something important. That fear and discomfort tells you that you're on the path to growth. If something feels misaligned and you're like, that's like, it's an alignment issue, that's different. Fear and doubt are just natural things that come up as we're moving into a bigger place. Okay. The version of you on the other side, the one who did the scary thing, is already waiting for you. That better version of you is waiting on the other side saying, come to me, come get me, walk towards me, take the next step. You're on your way. You're on the right path. Are you going to walk towards that version of you? Or are you going to turn around and go, I'm not ready. I'm scared. I'm scared. Somebody told me one time, what would the future you do? Let that version of you coach yourself. If you just sat for 5 minutes quietly and you pictured the best version of yourself, the you 2, 3, 4 years down the road, what would they tell you right now? Like when you were just stopping or giving up or not believing in yourself, what would that future version of you who's already achieved it all, who's walked through it, what would they tell you? That's a very powerful exercise. My husband asked me that a couple weeks ago or maybe a month or so ago, when we were talking about business growth. And I was just like, oh, is this even worth it? Like, gosh, is this ever going to take off? What are we doing? As an entrepreneur, you have those moments often, often. And he said, what would the future you say? And I thought for a second and I thought, she would tell me, you're right on the edge. Hang on and keep pushing because you're right there. And you know what? That was last month and we hit our revenue target. We hit it. The clients came from places I didn't expect. These relationships, the deals, the stuff that came together, I couldn't have planned it. I didn't know it was even going to happen, but my decision was that I wasn't going to give up. And so that's really what you need to be tapping into. Nobody is going to set this up for you. Nobody's going to give you the opportunity. You have to go out and create it yourself. You have to tell the world, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is what I want. These are the people I'm looking for. You have to have that much intention every single day, because nobody is just going to hand you your dream on a silver platter. You have to go out and create it. So just to kind of wrap this up, me personally, I've walked through the fire. I've been through it. I have been through a lot of different transitions. I've gone after and achieved a lot of different dreams, a lot of different goals. You're not crazy. You're not behind, and you're not alone. Okay. I'm going to encourage you to just get started. Take one step every day that gets you closer to your dream. Don't think about the 20 steps you have to take. Just think about the one. Okay. And it's okay if you're outgrowing where you're at. If you think about a tree, if you potted it in just a little plant, it wouldn't grow. Or like if you potted it in a little pot, it would only grow so big. But then if you took it out of that smaller pot and you went and planted it in a big dirt patch, it would grow. And so we outgrow our environments. We are allowed to change. We are allowed to evolve. We are not put on this earth to be the version that we are today. We are meant to evolve, to change, and to impact other people in our communities and our families on this planet. And the world doesn't need perfect. There is not one perfect person on this earth today. There's not one perfect person. Nobody is doing it exactly right. You just need to be in motion. That's all you need to be doing. You need to be showing up every day. You need to be trying every day. You need to be working every day, in action every day. You need to take time to create. You need to take time to think. You need to take time to evolve, work on yourself, but you need to be doing something every day to move yourself towards that best version of you. So I want you, just a little kind of call to action, I guess, on the end of this is I want to encourage you to take 5 to 10 minutes and think about this thing that you're putting off. And now, whatever it is, maybe it's starting a podcast, writing a book, starting a business, and now picture it done, picture it complete, picture it successful. Maybe it's generating money for you. What does that look like? And I want you to write down that version of you that embodies and holds all of that in their hands. Who is that person? And then over the next couple weeks or month, I want you to start showing up as that person every day. Let that person coach you, let that person guide you, and let that person be your mentor and get started. That's all it takes is the decision to try, the decision to move forward, the decision to say, yes, I'm not ready, but I'm going to start anyways. And get into imperfect action because that is the cure for fear and doubt every single time. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.